Have you ever found yourself holding on to someone who clearly didn't treat you right? Maybe they ignored your feelings, broke your trust, or made you feel small, but despite all the hurt, a part of you kept running after them, hoping things would change. It's confusing, painful, and honestly, emotionally exhausting. But here's the truth, you're not alone. It creates a push and pull dynamic that keeps you hooked. One minute, they make you feel special, and the next, they make you question your worth. But every time they come back, even just a little, your brain lights up with hope. The mind convinces us that some love, even if it's toxic, is better than no love. You remember the good moments and hold on to them like promises. You tell yourself, they didn't mean it, or they're going through something. You hope that if you're patient enough, loving enough, or forgiving enough, they'll finally change. You don't need to chase, beg, or shrink yourself for someone who doesn't see your value. It's about our unresolved wounds, unmet needs, and unhealed stories. But healing is possible. You are not broken, and you are not meant to live in pain. You deserve love that feels safe, steady, and kind. You deserve peace. You deserve to be chosen, without having to chase. Real love doesn't hurt like that. It doesn't play games. It doesn't make you doubt your worth. Ask yourself not, why won't they change, but instead, why am I still holding on? And in that moment of honesty, you just might begin to set yourself free. And once you truly begin to love and respect yourself, you'll find it easier to walk away from those who don't. But what you're really doing is falling in love with someone's best potential while ignoring their reality. And the more you invest in that fantasy, the harder it becomes to accept the truth. But potential is not a promise, it's just a possibility. And no matter how much you give, you cannot force someone to grow if they're not willing to. We start to believe that maybe we're being too sensitive, or maybe we need to change ourselves to be accepted. First, we have to become aware of it. Awareness is everything. Start paying attention to how you feel around certain people. Do they uplift you or drain you? Do they respect your boundaries or constantly cross them? Do you feel safe being yourself, or are you always trying to prove your worth? When you can name the pattern, you begin to take back your power. We rationalize their bad behavior because admitting the truth, that they're hurting us, would mean we have to walk away. And walking away is scary. But what's even scarier is staying stuck in a place where you keep losing pieces of yourself. That hit of emotional validation is like a drug, it keeps you coming back for more. You're not chasing the person, you're chasing the feeling they once gave you, or the feeling you hope they'll give you again. So many of us, without even realizing it, chase people who hurt us, and the reasons behind this behavior run deep into our psychology. This means doing the hard work of turning inward, rather than outward. Ask yourself, why am I drawn to people who make me feel less than? What old wounds am I trying to heal through them? What part of me still believes I need to earn love? These are not easy questions, but they're necessary ones. Because when you heal the parts of yourself that are still seeking approval, you stop accepting less than you deserve. Deep down, many people struggle with feelings of unworthiness. And instead of confronting that pain directly, they seek external validation to soothe it. So when someone rejects you or treats you badly, the instinct is not to walk away, but to try harder. Because if you can win their approval, maybe you can finally silence that inner voice that says you're not enough. But this is a trap. You cannot heal internal wounds with external approval. Especially not from someone who is causing more damage. Today, we're going to unpack why this happens, in a way that's simple to understand but deeply eye-opening. It often starts with a longing to feel seen, valued, or loved, especially when those emotional needs weren't consistently met in the past. If you grew up in an environment where love felt conditional, where affection was unpredictable, or where approval was something you had to earn, your mind starts to associate love with uncertainty and pain. So when someone comes into your life who is emotionally unavailable, who gives you just enough attention to keep you hoping, your brain doesn't always recognize the red flags. Instead, it recognizes the pattern. And even though the pattern hurts, it also feels familiar, and familiarity, to the brain, often feels safe. This is what psychologists call a trauma bond. It's just a powerful emotional attachment formed through cycles of reward and punishment, like moments of affection followed by moments of emotional withdrawal. Another big reason we chase people who hurt us is the belief that if we can just make this person love us, it will finally prove that we are lovable. Sometimes, chasing people who hurt us is also tied to fear of being alone, fear of starting over, fear of letting go. There's also the illusion of potential. You see who the person could be, not who they consistently are. So, what can we do to stop this cycle? Then comes the healing. Self-worth is not about thinking you're better than others. It's about knowing you don't need to suffer to be loved. In the end, chasing people who hurt us is never really about them, it's about us. So if you're still holding on to someone who keeps hurting you, take a breath and look within.